the Splendor Hyaline tomorrow night, and let the message be worded as graciously as the Queen can contrive without pledging her honour, so as to give the Prince a hope
band
that
ahead,
she is weak.
34.694.
That is very good counsel, sire, croaked the Raven. And then, continued Tumnus excitedly, everyone will expect us to be going down to the ship all day, making preparations for our guests. And let some of us go to the bazaars and spend every minute we have at the fruiters and the sweetmeat sellers and the wine merchants, just as we would if we were really giving a feast. And let us order magicians and jugglers and dancing girls and flute players, all to be on board tomorrow night. I see, said King Edmund, rubbing his hands. And then, said Tumnus, we'll all be on board tonight. And as soon as it is quite dark, up sails and out oars, said the king. And so to sea, cried Tumnus, leaping up and beginning to dance. And our nose northward, said the first dwarf. Running for home, hurrah for Narnia in the north, said the other. And the prince waking the next morning and finding his birds flown, said Peredan, clapping his hands. Oh, Master Tumnus, dear Master Tumnus, said the queen, catching his hands and swinging with him as he danced. You have saved us all. The prince will chase us, said another lord whose name Shasta had not heard. That is the least of my fears, said Edmund. I've seen all the shipping in the river, and there's no tall ship of war nor swift galley there. I wish he may chase us, for the Splendor Hyaline could sink anything he has to send after her, if we were overtaken at all. Sire, said the Raven, you shall hear no better plot than the fawns, though we sat in council for 7 days. And now, as we birds say, nests before eggs, which is as much as to say, let us all take our food and then at once be about our business.
2 police reports ahead in 3
Everyone
miles.
arose
Confirmed
at
2
this,
minutes ago.
and the doors were
199 east
open,
and
and the
990
lords
west.
and the
Speed
creatures
limit
stood
80.
aside for the king and queen to go out first. Shasta wondered what he ought to do, but Mr. Tumnus said, Lie there, your highness, and I will bring you up a little feast to yourself in a few minutes. There is no need for you to move until we are all ready to embark. Shasta laid his head down again on the pillows, and soon he was alone in the room. This is perfectly dreadful, thought Shasta. It never came into his head to tell these Narnians the whole truth and ask for their help. Having been brought up by a hard, close-fisted man like Arshish, he had a fixed habit of never telling grown-ups anything if he could help it. He thought they would always spoil or stop whatever you were trying to do. And he thought that even if the Narnian king might be friendly to the 2 horses, because they were talking beasts of Narnia, he would hate Aravis, because she was a Calormene, and either sell her for a slave or send her back to her father. As for himself, I simply daren't tell them I'm not Prince Corin now, thought Shasta. I know. If they knew I wasn't one of themselves, they'd never let me out of this house alive. They'd be afraid I'd betray them to the Tisroc. They'd kill me. And if the real Corin turns up, it'll all come out, and they will. He had, you see, no idea of how noble and freeborn people behave. What am I to do? What am I to do? He kept saying to himself. What? Oh, hello. Here comes that goaty little creature again. The fawn trotted in, half dancing, with a tray in its hands, which was nearly as large as itself. This he set on an inlaid table beside Shasta's sofa, and sat down himself on the carpeted floor, with his goatee legs crossed. Now, princeling, he said, make a good dinner. It will be your last meal in Tashbaan. It was a It was a fine meal after the Calormene fashion. I don't know whether you would have liked it or not, but Shasta did. There were lobsters and salad, and snipe stuffed with almonds and truffles, and a complicated dish made of chicken livers and rice and raisins and nuts. And there were cool melons and gooseberry fools and mulberry fools, and every kind of nice thing that could